Buenos dias, everyone. Welcome to Great Day SA. I'm your host, Roma Villavicencio.
And I'm Kristen Urban. Thanks for tuning in on this Wednesday, July 2nd. Roma, we have some exotic animals on the show today, and I'm so excited about this, but it made me think. I've never asked you, have you had any kind of wild pets?
You know, I have. Growing up, I was a big tomboy. I would collect lizards all the time. I had an alligator lizard and a little water baby turtle.
No way.
Yeah.
Were they hard to take care of?
Not really. Crickets was the main food, and I remember going to the pet store all the time to buy those. That was kind of weird sometimes, but they were awesome pets. They were easy to take care of. You just got to make sure their little habitat is clean.
That's really cool. I never knew that. I was actually a tomboy myself. I had frogs, I had tadpoles, I had mice. I don't know if my parents knew about any of that, but I had those things.
You had them somewhere there. That's super cool, Kristen, but I'm excited to see what you've got in store for our audience.
Yes, and speaking of exotic pets, we're going to meet this week's Pets of the Week. When you think of a family pet, you may think of a cat or a dog, but there are so many options out there when it comes to providing an animal with a safe and comfortable home. Joining us with all the details on how you can do just that is Sasha Wangler with the Midgard Animal Rescue Sanctuary. Thanks for being here, Sasha.
Hello, welcome.
This is amazing. I am overcoming a few fears today because actually, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous about snakes, but you are here to show us why they could make such a great pet for families at home. Sasha, who is this that we're meeting?
This right here is Serpentina. She is a royal ball python, or commonly known just as a ball python.
This is amazing. And so this animal right here is up for adoption, correct?
Yes, he is.
So tell me a little bit about this snake and how long have you had it in your sanctuary?
We've had her about maybe 2.5 years, and in those 2.5 years we've grown to get really in touch with her and learn about her. You can see, this is why they're called ball pythons, because they do ball up like this, and that's how they hide in the forest in South America. And in Africa there's different types of ball pythons out there, and it's a really hard animal to not take care of, but it's a hard animal to accept into your home if you're just not comfortable with snakes, because I'm not comfortable with snakes either.
Okay, good. So that makes two of us. But just seeing this snake right here, you can tell it is just so sweet. And I have some family that even has snakes as pets. So they do make for good pets. But something that I know you want to note is that you need to have research before you bring one of these in your home. Why is that so important?
It's very important because of habitat. As you can see in front of us, we have two different types of snakes here. We have a Sinaloan milk snake on this side, and we also have a corn snake. And so these are two different types of habitats. This one's habitat is a whole lot bigger, probably as big as this table. You don't want to get a large habitat because then the lighting and the heating's not going to be contained as much, and your snake is going to constantly be looking for that ideal environment to be at. And with that in mind, you also have to have a UVB light, UVA light. There's always different types of lights. It's your preference, whatever you want to do.
These are such great notes. And when it comes to some of the decor, that also has purpose as well, correct?
Yes. So on this side right here, these are a lot of hides where these animals, normally these would be inside of here for this animal to hide. This right here provides a lot of humidity. You wet all that in there. As you can see, she wants to get back in that hide so bad. Aww. And that's her little hiding place. And it's a safety environment for them too. It's like a little place where they can get away with people walking by, if there's a lot of high traffic in your house. But the cool thing about these snakes and these animals is they don't take up a lot of space.
I love that.
They don't.
Like you said, it's really an easy thing to bring into your home. And I thought it was funny as well because you mentioned that they love these little hides. And this snake right here was hiding, but as soon as this opened up, they popped up. They were ready to go
back
in there
so bad.
Now, when it comes to a snake, this isn't a 2-3 year commitment. This is really a lifelong commitment. Can you just talk to us about that?
So depending on the type of snake that you're getting, because all snakes live at different types of lifespans. Some snakes live longer than others. Quality of care matters. Also knowing where to take your animal for the vet, but they do live a long time, so you got to know that you're making a commitment. It's just like having a child, you got to make a commitment, and having these are just like having children.
These are great notes, and you brought up the vet. Now, you shouldn't just take it to a regular vet, correct? You need like an exotic vet for a snake?
So exotic vets are few and far between here in San Antonio. We maybe have about 5 or 6 or so, but not all of them specialize in reptiles, because these are a type of reptile, and not all of them specialize in snakes. Snakes are a little more resilient to a lot of things, but they do get things that can help them, can harm them in their habitat. And sometimes a lot of the most important things that harm these guys is when they shed. Aww. And as you can see on top of here, we have some shedding from some of these snakes. Sometimes they don't shed all of their skin, so you need to help them out. but not a lot of people want to put their hand inside of a cage with an animal.
Now, when it comes to helping them shed, how do you do that? If you notice some of this like kind of clear shedding coming off of them, would you just kind of assist in maybe taking that off of them?
You can. You can also use spray bottles to assist with spray bottles with like warm water to spray on top of the animal, also soaking them in a warm bath with electrolytes. And these aren't electrolytes that you would normally get from the store. These are specialized just for reptiles, so don't just go grab whatever and put it in there with the animal. It has to be specialized for the species.
Something neat I feel like with owning a snake is you're probably always learning, like the amount of information that you have given us just in these few minutes. Like there's probably so much more as well. And something else that's really exciting when it comes to your animal sanctuary is you are celebrating 5 years. How exciting is that?
I know, we started in 5 years. We started right after COVID, and when COVID was at its height, right at the beginning, and it was crazy. But now it's 5 years later, and we take care of 389 animals currently right now, and some of them are reptiles and a lot of other types of animals.
Wow, so if I'm somebody at home and I'm seeing these pets and I am excited about maybe bringing an exotic animal into my home, what does that process look like? Do you come by the sanctuary and kind of decide what's a good fit for you?
So the best thing to do is to email us and email, I'm the director, or email one of our staff to let us know you're interested in an animal. We do have a questionnaire. We do have some very basic questions, but then we do get in depth. We want to make sure that you are taking home an animal and it's going to be a commitment for you to provide a forever home for these animals, because that's what they need.
And lastly, what is your best advice if somebody does pick up a pet? Do you recommend them research online, or are there resources here in San Antonio to gather some of that research?
There's a lot of good places here in San Antonio of people, like some of the websites that have people who take care of these types of animals. You don't want to Google everything. When you Google things, you sometimes get a myriad of information, and it's got to be about your preference, not exactly like this is right for this animal, this is right for this animal. You've got to really do your research and talk to a lot of people and then do what's right for yourself.
This is so helpful, Sasha. And for people at home who want to check this out, they want to check out Midgard, where can they go to get that information?
You can go to midgardsanctuary.org is our website, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter. We're on everything. We're on all platforms.
Thank you so much for your time today. Paul, I know you probably noticed I'm overcoming a little bit of my fear today. This is actually the first time I've ever touched a snake. I won't let them anywhere near me. But Paul, now that we've seen some wild animals, can we expect any wild weather?
I wouldn't say wild weather, but I think we've got a chance for some rain today, which is good. We'll get to today's forecast in just a minute. Hey, let's talk about the 4th of July weekend. High temperature, 92 by July standards. It's not bad at all. 30% chance of seeing some rain. I think that's going to be mainly early. Fireworks should be okay. Partly cloudy, and then the rest of the weekend, highs in the mid-90s. Partly cloudy. It's going to be hot. Maximum heat index close to 100. So when was the last time we had a high of 92 or less on the 4th of July? You got to go back to 2021.